Good evening, Senior Officer. I'll just direct this at you because the record being presented to you by the representatives of the board is incomplete and it's dishonest. I'll just outline a couple of ways. As Mr. Budd can tell you, if he were able to answer questions, between June and now, the Board of Education issued bonds for capital development in excess of $900 billion, probably over $1 billion. Isn't that true, Mr. Budd?
No questions and answers. Maybe.
Well, that's a fact. And I will submit to you Board of Education's comprehensive annual financial report, which outlines that fact. So to say that one building can't be made adequate for the education of 82 students, that's how many are listed here, with these special needs, and to be rehabilitated to accommodate those needs, is simply dishonest. It is the kind of dishonesty that we faced in this city when special education is addressed since Arnie Duncan became CEO. I'll cite one example, Spalding. Spalding was a school that shined as a service facility for special needs students for almost 100 years. This Board of Education closed it down because it said it needed to be rehabilitated. They ejected the students who were then placed at risk in places as far as Wades Clementi despite their disabilities. Then the board claimed that Spalding could not be rehabilitated because the board claimed it didn't have the money. For 4 years, Spalding sat empty. Then the money was found and now it's privatized. Those children were destroyed. And the people who testified tonight are all witnesses to that destruction because they were all working for this school system during that time. I want to give you a second example.
Sir, please conclude.
May I have 1 minute for the second example because it involves a federal court decision that governs this.
Do it in a half minute. You can do it.
Thank you. You heard a report from a monitor from New York. Chicago has been under a consent decree governing special education since the 1990s. I am puzzled by the fact that the representative of the board and the legal counsel of the board failed to mention the fact that the Corey H. decision governs this. There is a monitor in Chicago who's paid upwards of $500,000 a year in a case which is currently before Judge Dandelman in federal court, and you can look at the record. Why we were treated to a 5-minute narrative about something somebody from New York said when we have tons of evidence from Chicago about the special education problems in Chicago is beyond belief, but that just happened here. This is part of the privatization drive of the Chicago public schools. It's part of the dishonesty that's governed the narrative about special education for the past decade. And I urge you to read this book and see how much money is available in this town for rehabilitation.